let's start with the Revs. They come in up 3-0 against a team in Pumas who lost this weekend after being up 1-0. Obviously got pummeled 3-0 the weekend before. I think now they're down to 11th in the Liga MX table. They do not score goals. They have struggled to score goals this year. Fabio Alvarez, who, if everyone remembers, was like not very good for the LA Galaxy, has scored their only goal in 2 weeks. He's not even available for this game. Everything's going to Revs. Then I will say the lineup comes out.
Yeah.
And Andrew Farrell's not available.
Yeah.
Who has been an Ironman. He's the club leader in appearances now. He is the Rock as their center back. And Henry Kessler, we know, is not available. Matt Turner is out. Brad Knighton is out. So we do have to say you're on your third and fourth center backs and your third string goalkeeper, as well as Earl Edwards Jr. has played over the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
He is not a guy who has started at this level in his life. And then, as we said, the Revs get probably their best look of the game about 17 minutes in on the counter. Carlos Heel to Gustavo Bo to Adam Buxa, DP to DP off a tackle from Juwan Jones. It's the formula. It is, okay, we can take, chances will come against us, whatever. This team's good enough to at least score one, as you said. They missed that chance, and it just felt like Buxa never got together after that.
I know.
And Carlos Heel just couldn't find options. And once Pumas scores, so Pumas scores the first in like 30-something minute. They score the second in the 46th minute.
I know.
First minute in the second half. And that felt like
that was a gut punch.
Yeah. And I think when you look at the goals, a bit on John Bell sort of being a step late at this level, which is a jump for him. I think he started 11 MLS games in his career. I really like him. I thought a team would come and trade for him because I think he can be a starter in MLS.
Yeah.
He's not there yet, and Omar not able to cover for him. The second goal is absurd. The first touch turns the corner on Bell, puts it on the thigh of Rogelio, who somehow sneaks it into the far post. And then the third goal is Bofo Salcedo, an RSL Academy player.
Once again, it's the MLSers, the former MLSers that are having the biggest moments in CCL for these teams. And I have a question for you, Gus. And somebody asked this on Twitter too, because I think
is it the person who's blaming me because they are tired of blaming League
people
MX?
Blaming you?
We have a fan who said, "Well, I have Will Walsh for starters, because I guareed the Revs would win CCL in like a fake thing." So I hate you, Will Walsh. And then I just had a fan who was like, "Can I be mad at Goss because I can't be mad at League MX or MLS players anymore?" It's been to which, yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
But continue, Susanna.
No, you said it at the top of the show. Like, I mean, Earl Edwards Jr. has been doing remarkably well, filling in at starting goalkeeper for Matt Turner. The Salcedo goal.
Yeah.
Okay. Which it was he struck it very, very well, but it looked savable. Then this game goes to PKs. If Matt Turner is starting in goal for this game, do we have a different result? Are we having a different conversation right now?
So I think the second goal was in the body of Earl Edwards Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I don't assume a goalkeeper will make that save.
Yeah.
Matt Turner might make that save. I don't think that's a fair comparison for Edwards because Matt Turner is elite, like world class.
Sure.
Shot stopping elite. The third goal should have been saved.
Yeah.
It's almost directly at him. Yeah, it's from a close distance, but it was almost a wasted shot that Bofo just sort of put something on goal and it goes in above his head. It should have been saved. Now, I think that if it was 2-0, Pumas pushes more. I think there would have been more chances in that game for them if they needed it, where I think they sort of went into third gear because the Revs brought on Josie and start to threaten. I think if they push forward, I guess what I'm saying is I kind of think it would have been a similar result. And on penalty kicks, he made one save.
Yeah, he did.
Which I think redeemed him a bit. And the other is I don't expect goalkeepers to make saves.
Sure.
Like, to me, shooters should score every time.
Yeah.
And if they do, like we saw with Sebastian Lletget. If they don't, that's sort of on them. So, whew, all right. So yeah, that's my take on that. And I think it's, listen, he's one, as I said, the third string keeper, and two, I think it's fair to criticize there, say he should have done better on that third opportunity,
because he has done a very good job of filling in. So it doesn't feel entirely fair, but it was one of those things where the thought crossed my mind where it was like, Matt Turner.
Yeah.
Matt Turner probably saves that. And yeah.
So and that's what they were missing. They were missing one of the two best goalkeepers in the league. They were missing a guy who was a game changer. They were missing Andrew Farrell, who has been, as I said, their appearance leader. And they were missing Henry Kessler, who got called up to the national team twice in the last 2 years and is coming into his own. They missed a ton of athleticism at center back, ability to sort of step forward and help Polster. And while most of the goals came from the wings, I think having the center part of the field overrun pulled DeJuan Jones in a little bit more. It pulled Tommy Mack and Sebastian Lletget in, which I think then hurt them because I think you didn't have the numbers out wide to stop crosses and to stop those opportunities. They were better when Tommy Mack came on in the second half, I think, and Traustason has not stepped up. They obviously could have used Tajon Buchanan in a game like this. That's a counterattack by itself. And that's sort of where CCL has always had is you're in preseason, you just sold players, you just bought players. Are they settled yet? Are they ready? I thought they looked better once Josie came on too.
Yeah.
He's probably not 90 minutes fit. And so at altitude, you can sort of understand not starting him, but could he have held the ball up a little early, gotten you a chance early that maybe you don't have to start chasing at 3-0 when he's on the field? It felt like the Revs came and said, we have a 3-0 lead. Let's just not lose.
That's what pissed me off.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off is that I think that I don't think they came in with the right mentality necessarily to this game. I think that they were overly confident that they were going to be able to score a goal.
Yeah.
And maybe rightfully so, because you look at that roster and you think, yeah, like obviously. And the other thing that disappointed me is that we've seen Adam Buksa miss chances before, but then he's always able to kind of like redeem himself
in the first leg.
Yes,
he missed two huge opportunities and then scores 2 goals.
And then I don't know, the final third just was not, they just weren't, it wasn't sharp. They were toothless, and that surprised me. And I don't know, for a Bruce Arena led team, I was a little bit disappointed with, I don't know. I do think that they kind of came in and thought that this was not guaranteed, but there was a little bit of intensity missing for me and tenacity that I wanted to see.
And I think in one of those ways that I saw that, which was frustrating, was I felt like they wasted set piece chances early.
Yeah.
Where I think you can see late in the game, right, when the focus is there. Where are the runs? How do you want to serve that ball in? And it felt early on, it was like, let's just serve in a dangerous ball. And it didn't feel like there was a game plan of exactly how to create chances. And that's where you should have won the game. Like you have Omar and John Bell in. Okay, you're losing something defensively. They're both elite in the air. You have Buksa, you have Bo. Like you have all these options. And that's where the goal should have come from in that first
100%.
half. And so that's really frustrating for me. And I think they wasted that. And you see it with the Omar chance late on. Like in the 5 minutes left, 3 minutes left, Omar gets probably the best look of the game after that Buksa opportunity, and it's just that's what you're waiting for, and they didn't go for that earlier. All right, Susanna, do you want to talk? So let's hit these PKs first. We mentioned Earl Edwards Jr. scored one. The Revs win the toss; they go first. As much as hopeful as you can be, Heel bangs the first one in the corner. I think DeJuan Jones puts away the second one well. I thought DeJuan Jones was pretty good in this game, even though chances came down his wing. Brandon Bai has gotten so good defensively so quickly, but the service isn't there yet for him still. And then Tommy Mack and Sebastian Lletget step up. Bruce Arena, after the game, said, we knew who our first 3 shooters were, our best 3, and then we asked who wanted to take. And Lletget and Josie both all asked to. And so then they went 4 and 5. Do you have any issues with what went on here besides the fact that they missed?
No, I mean, Sebastian Lletget. I mean, like you think about like the guys that they brought in the offseason. Sebastian Lletget like is part of that equation. Like part of that is that like they knew that they were going to be competing in CCL,
right.
And you want that experience. Sebastian Lletget knows what it's like to play in these sort of like one-off games with everything on the line. I have zero problem with Sebastian Lletget. I would expect him to raise his hand and say, I want to take a PK. So no, I have no issue. I have issue with the execution. I think Bruce Arena did too, based on his reaction. But that's what happens in a PK shootout. Like that's these things happen. And
it's probably a good thing that Bruce doesn't know that the internet exists, because he won't have to rewatch that gif of him saying, "What the bleep was that?" after Lletget's miss over and over again. And you saw the look on Sebastian Lletget's face as he hits it. He knows.
Yeah.
It was a terrible take. And it definitely, obviously at that point, you've missed 2 in a row. Josie nails his, but at that point, Pumas is going through. Like, they know they are. They just have to finish it off. Yeah, it was frustrating to give up the lead and then to lose in penalties and the way the penalties went. It was CCL MLS experience all wrapped into one. I thought Hurt Gomez said it best on Twitter. He said, "This is not about the schedule. This is not about spending. This was a poorly played game. The Revs choked." And I go back and forth. We've watched this for so long. We've sort of studied what can change. How can this work? I've talked about for this year the amount of players returning on each of the teams in CCL so that they're further ahead. The MLS season started earlier because of the World Cup, although the Revs missed the 2 games against Cavalli. It then also still comes down to being a knockout competition.